What's going on, Catawba County? Welcome to the heart of Catawba, where community meets conversation. I'm your host, Tyler.
I'm Letitia.
Let's get into it. This episode is sponsored by Cranford Hospitality, a family-owned business built on good food, hard work, and community. Whether it's a steakhouse night out, a casual barbecue, breakfast with the family, or a drink from their brewery or distillery, everything they do is about bringing people together. We're grateful to be sponsored by a family that puts heart into everything they create. All right, guys. We just want to shout out our festival again that we're throwing. August 15th, we are going to be at the Hickory Crawdads Stadium. Shout out to the Hickory Crawdads. We are throwing the Heart and Harvest Festival. It is going to be a community cookout for addiction. We're going to have live music. We're going to have
1 to 6 p.m.
Yep. Ooh, good plug. 1 to 6, live music.
J-List, Christina Eagle, Daniel Eagle, Jennifer Alvarado.
Yep.
Bubba and Mertz Burgers. Who's the other food truck we're getting?
I forget. I'll have to.
Okay, yeah. We'll probably have multiple food trucks
Yeah, for
happening.
sure. We'll plug them. But if you're interested, go follow our social media page. We have a Facebook. We have a event on Facebook already. Go to our website, www.heartofcatawba.com. We have some information there. We still have sponsorship opportunities. We are still looking for donations for the silent auction. We are looking for volunteers. If this is something that you're passionate about and you want to help us,
reach out
to us, get in contact with us. For you. Absolutely. It's going to be, we want it to be for the community. So we want the community to get involved in helping us make this happen. Because
I feel like once people hear this episode too,
oh, absolutely,
you're going to feel the pull.
You're going to understand why that this means so much to me
all
specific. But, I'm glad that Laurel feels that way. Obviously, I didn't, I'll let y'all see this. And Laurel got just as raw of a video today as y'all did. I didn't give her any insight into my backstory or my dad's backstory or what he does over there at the Men's Hope Center. But it was a absolute.
I'm glad we got to hear more deeply about the work that they're doing, because it just reaffirms for me that we are doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
In general with the Heart of Catawba, but also like with this event.
Mm-hmm. So. I knew that as soon as I just felt the urge to present this, and I just knew that my dad's, what he's doing over there and what he's doing for the guys that are at that house. I just knew that this was where I was meant to be and what I was meant to, do this for. That they have an amazing program. He does wonderful things over there. It's really just amazing to see all of the guys, the light that he shines there is just really, really bright.
I agree. I'm really looking forward to this event.
I know. It's going to be a good time for sure. So August 15th, mark your calendars. Be there for sure. All right, guys, welcome back to this segment of Voices of the Valley. Today we are here with my dad, Mr. Steve Barrymore, and his intern, Samuel Smith. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out.
Right on cue.
It was. That was actually, you actually never hit
practicing.
it on cue, and that was good. So
welcome.
Yep, welcome. Tell me a little bit of, obviously, I know your backstory, but tell the viewers your backstory, where you came from. Where you were born, raised, all that fun stuff.
So, born in New Jersey, lived there 6 years, moved to California, lived in California for 4 years, and then moved to North Carolina. Been here ever since. Actually went to Newton Conover. So, yeah, right here in hometown.
What made you move back and forth like that?
She didn't know that. That caught her off.
Yeah.
So my dad got offered a job while we were in New Jersey in California. So we moved out there, and then the area got really bad, so he had the opportunity to move back. My mom's family was here, so we moved back here to help them out.
How old were you when you moved to North Carolina?
So I was going into 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
So I was young.
Okay, so you spent a lot of your childhood here.
Yes, most of my childhood here.
Okay. Did you go to school after high school?
No. I was in active addiction coming out of high school.
Oh, nice. Tell us all about it.
So, I ran about a 10-year span addicted to cocaine. So I actually through his childhood in active addiction. So it was a rough run. I did overdosed in 2005, and finally got married, got my life back together, and kind of worked in sales and technology for 25 years, and God put a calling on my life to help others. The Hope Center came about in our church, and I just knew that's where I was supposed to be.
Yeah. Did you feel it like in your gut?
So it was actually
This is
our
it.
pastor brought it up, and the first time he brought it up, he was like, "Hey, we need volunteers. We need this," and I'm texting him during service. I'm like, "I'm in. Like whatever I got to do." About a year later, he says, "Hey, listen, we're definitely getting a Hope Center. We need director. We need a recovery pastor. We need this." And it was like he was talking directly to me. And again, during service, "Hey, what do I need to do?" And then a lot of doubt comes in. It's, am I good enough to do this? Can I handle the pressure? And he texted me. He said, "Go for it."
God doesn't call the equipped; He equips the called.
That's right. So I actually put in my application, and it took a year for me to get hired. We had to go through zoning with the Maiden, and then once we got that, then we had to go through permits and all that. And it ended up just everything fell in, and I've been there. We'll be up in a year in May, so it's been a rough run to get to there. And then once it hit, it's just smooth sailing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how God just touches a place and it just runs smooth.
Yeah.
So
what is your role there exactly now? And tell us about the Men's Hope Center.
So I am the director, and it's right now we are a 16 men faith-based recovery center. So we don't call it a recovery center. We call it a home. All of our guys are brothers. And I tell them all the time, I am the director there, but I walk that journey with them. Because once you're in addiction, you're never out. It's the rest of your life. It's just, what do you use that addiction for? So me now, it's the Hope Center. And it's kind of the way we live our lives now. And, probably next month, maybe June, we'll go to 34 guys.
Wow.
Which is a lot. It's a lot.
Have you expanded your facility?
So we live in a very big house in Maiden.
Okay.
And size-wise, we have no issues. The only issues we have is septic. 16 guys, I hate to say it, they're full of a lot. So septic, you kind of...
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, you kind of have to have enough to do it. So we're in the process of redoing our septic.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So as soon as it's done, we'll roll in the 34.
Okay.
That house is awesome. Honestly, I was, obviously seen it from the start and into the whole journey of it. But whenever the first time I walked in the house, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this has the capability. And honestly, y'all have done, from the first time we walked in that house to now, you did a great job. It's came a long way. It's honestly super cool. Yeah. And it's the perfect place because it doesn't feel
institutional.
Correct. Like it is a house.
Yeah.
And it has the house feel, but also you have the space to be able to have all these different rooms for different things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like extracurricular type thing.
Correct. Like, you just have enough space to do whatever you want, but also feel like that you're at home. So I definitely like the home thing because it is a home.
It is a home.
So Hope Center, tell me about that as a bigger umbrella. So you said you got the Maiden location. So meaning there's more.
We have 52 locations in the United States and 13 in different countries.
Okay.
So we have in our area, we have close ones like Mount Airy, Galax, Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia. And then we have a lot on the coast. We have Conway, South Carolina. So we are spread all over. Our main headquarters in Oklahoma. So we have literally places everywhere. We are opening one in South Africa.
And how did this come about into your church?
So every Hope Center has a sponsoring church.
Okay.
So that church puts up so much money to even get looked at for a Hope Center. They have to be able to hold 34 guys plus their families in a regular service, which right now we're going to struggle at because our church, we're at 500 every Sunday. Well, we had 16 more in their family. I mean, that's a lot of people. So they put up so much money, and then we attend that church solely. Like, that's the only place we go. We do Sunday services, we do Wednesday services, we do Bible schools. So we are tied to them, but also not tied to them.
Yeah. So it's a mutually exclusive sort of beneficial relationship. I love that because it's supportive on both ends. Like you're supportive in the service that you can provide, like in serving in that community, but it's also just like a reminder to the people in the church who are helping fund, like, this is what you're doing. Like, you're changing lives, and here they are.
Yeah, and
They're
I
right
will
in front of
say
you.
our church is so supportive. They have never, ever looked at a guy coming in and say, I'm not having anything to do with him. They have open-armed, just love the guys.
And I feel like that is so rare in this world.
Absolutely.
That is far more rare than it is common, which is upsetting.
Yeah, because, I mean, normally you say, well, you got a bunch of drug addicts. And we had this in the zoning meetings with the town of Maiden is, oh, they're going to have a bunch of drug addicts laying in the front yard or walking up and down the streets. And we've never had that happen. I mean, we've had, I think, one guy in a year take off and walk down the street. Our house is beautiful. We're on 9.5 acres. You will drive by, you will never know it's a Hope Center.
Never.
It's the grass is always perfectly cut. The front yard is always groomed. I mean, it's a beautiful house.
And like an oasis.
Well, I mean,
An
there
escape.
and y'all do a good job of structure, obviously, because I know more. But the structure that each person has a job and they have a household job. That's what
Purpose.
you do, and everybody knows their role, and everybody buys in to the system that y'all have created. And just every time I swing by, it's just it doesn't feel like you're going into a recovery place. It feels like you're just, everybody's nice, everybody's genuine. It looks beautiful all the time. Everybody wants to keep up their house. And you would never, ever know driving by that's what it is.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about like going to a rehab, but or feel like they're going to a rehab center. You want to feel like you're taking power over your healing, but in a way that feels safe and
Right.
not foreign, like a hospital.
And Sam could say better about this, but I think if they come in and you show them respect and you show them that
Dignity.
they're not judged,
Yeah.
they made mistakes, and you got to forgive and move on. And I mean, God did that for us, so why can't we do it for somebody else?
Right. So tell us about you, Samuel. Tell us where you're from.
I was born near Asheville,
Okay.
and I was born and raised just kind of like all over the mountains. My
Okay.
mom moved around a whole lot. She worked hard. I had 2 sisters I grew up with, and my dad wasn't in the picture. And I lived out on the coast through middle school, but I ended up in the mountains most of my time. I spent a lot of time alone, and that kind of led me down a path of seeking like connection, and I think that kind of drew me close to a bad crowd, which in turn just led me into drug use.
Yeah.
And early on, I started using cocaine. And then I got real bad into alcohol, got bad into methamphetamine, and I got strung out on that a few years ago, and quickly ended up homeless. I'm 27 now. I got strung out when I was like 22, and I spent a few months in Greenville, South Carolina, homeless and strung out. And
How'd you end up in Greenville?
well, so I was on probation for like 6 years for federal arson in Buncombe County. And when I got off of probation, my mom, okay, let me step back. My mom moved to Greenville because she finally found a man in her life that today I call him my dad. He spoke at my graduation. You know, no one's good enough for your mom, but he's really close. You know, he's a great guy and I love him.
That's awesome.
And she moved down there with him. And they kind of had a better way of life. Well, as soon as I got off probation in Asheville, I was on meth. I told my mom I needed somewhere to go because I knew I couldn't last like that, you know?
You wanted some stability.
You gotta get out of the cycle.
Right,
Yeah.
I had to get out of that
New
cycle.
place.
But I will, you know, something that's obvious to me now is I didn't have Christ in my life. I wasn't raised in a church. I wasn't raised anywhere near Jesus. You know, my mom has very different beliefs. My sisters one of them couldn't be further from it. And I moved to Greenville, and my mom lives right in the middle of the hood. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. You know, she was right in the middle of downtown Greenville. It didn't take long for me and my mountain man self that has been deprived of connection to get connection just with the neighbors. Well, shortly that led to me being pretty strung out. You know, I stayed sober for a few months, but then it got bad. Well, you know, that kind of leads me into where Hope Center kind of came into my life. I'd like to speak on that I prayed to Jesus. You know, I'd never prayed to God, to Jesus in my life.
This is my favorite part. The encounter. The encounter. Let's go.
You know, I was laying on the side of the road in Greenville. I was going through a dry spell, so I didn't have my drugs of choice.
Aching.
And I was aching. I was starving.
Yeah.
And I was covered in my own blood, where I'd, you know, done some things I probably wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
And you know, my hair was down to my shoulders. I was 165 pounds, and I'm like two and some change. I'm not going to be specific, but
You're healthy.
yeah, I'm healthy
You're
now.
healthy.
But you know, I prayed to God. You know, I was just like, you know, my mom reads tarot cards, candles, she's into that kind of thing. And I had tried so many different ways. I've been on medications. I've been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, bipolar 1, anxiety disorders, and manic depression, and PTSD, and, you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, and I had searched my whole life for something that worked for that. I've been through tons of therapy over the course of probation.
Searching for identity.
Yeah, searching for something.
Yeah.
You know, when I prayed, you know, at the time, I felt this hope inside of me. And what's crazy is I was all alone. You know, I'd lost everything. My parents disowned me, my family, my kids. You know, I had kids along the way, by the way. I left that out. But I lost everything, and I prayed to God, and He gave me this hope. And I made it to the hospital, and it was like 6:30 at night. It was like a Monday night, and the case manager come in there, and she told me that let me step back. I couldn't quit telling the doctors that Jesus was real. Like, I was crazy and strung out, but this was something I was sure about, because I was like, y'all don't understand. I'm not just high right now. Somebody just answered my prayer, you know? She said, well, there's this 1-year faith-based program, Hope Center Ministries. We can see if we can't get you into that. And I was like, that's it. That's where I need to go. And she come in like an hour later, and she said, you're leaving in the morning. And I went from Greenville, South Carolina, detoxed on a Greyhound bus on my way to Winston-Salem, where I eventually would end up at Mount Airy, Virginia, at that house that he was just talking about. Hope Center for me is a tool that God definitely used in my life. I mean, when you go from being covered in your own blood, strung out on the street, and and nobody wanting you around just because you're that crappy of a person, to being in a house where when you wake up in the morning, you got 30 other men that told you that they loved you, and you were going to eat first.
You belong.
How long were you up at the program in Mount Airy?
I was there. So this is awesome. So I was only there for a week and a half. That was
okay.
I've been sober now for 16 months.
Okay.
That was day one of being in sobriety. Week and a half deep, I get discharged for suicidal ideations, because I went through this getting off of methamphetamine and getting all those chemicals out of your brain. I mean, it's crazy what you go through. I mean, I started hallucinating. I thought the guys in the house were going to kill me. You know, looking back now, I know very differently.
Chemical.
But,
Yeah, it's
right.
chemical imbalance
It was
that's
all-
happening.
Yeah, and it was really, really hard on me.
Scary.
So I went to the hospital. The intake coordinator for Hope Center, Michael Gentry, actually stuck with me through other places. He got me into the hospital, gave me a ride there that night. I got medicated and on some antidepressants, antipsychotics, and some sleep aids. And I got admitted into another program called Pinnacle Treatment Services. You know, I left that Hope Center house, and I knew that no matter at what cost, I had to make it back there. I used Pinnacle Treatment Services in Roanoke. It's a 45-day program. I was there for 80 days, by the way, and made it back into Hope Center. That's where I just graduated the program from. Now,
Congratulations.
thank you. And there's something going on in that house that I can't explain except with God. You know, whenever I got to Roanoke Hope Center, that's where I started. About a month deep, I was literally like 5 days away from phasing into phase 2, which is your 30-day mark is when you phase up. And the director there come to me and a few other guys, and we weren't bound by probation, so we weren't bound to the state of Virginia, and we could leave. That was one of the major reasons. He come to us and said, hey, they're starting a new Hope Center in Maiden, North Carolina. First of all, I was like, I don't even know what Maiden is.
What is that?
What is that?
Yeah, never heard of that
That's
place in
pretty
my life.
common.
I've been all over North
They do
Carolina.
football there.
Right. Thinking varsity blues kind of place. No, but he said no, Maiden, and I prayed about it, and I came back to Travis. Came back to the director there probably 10 minutes later. I was like, hey man, we need to talk outside. I was like, I don't know why, but I need to go to Maiden. I said, I don't know what it is, and it was powerful. I mean, and then I end up in Maiden, North Carolina, somewhere that no one knows. Now, this was something else. Everywhere I ever go that I know, people know what I was. I mean, I was a thief. I was an addict. I was worthless. I was violent. In Maiden, North Carolina, anyone that knows me knows I'm a loving guy. I'm a respectable guy they can rely on.
They know you,
Right.
not the you that showed up in addiction.
Right. They know
For sure.
me when Christ is in the scenario.
Yes.
Like Christ has formed what's in front of you. I couldn't have sat here and talked to y'all about this without ending up in the hospital for some sort of anxiety flip out. On top of everything, while I was in Maiden, I've been unmedicated for 7-8 months now.
Congratulations.
All the psych medications, all the
right.
symptoms. I have no nightmares. I have such a peace that it gives me anxiety having such a
You're like, why is everything okay?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Why
when you're
is
feeling-
everything so good?
You feel like a vibrator your whole life.
Yeah.
You finally calm down to a straight line. It's like you don't even know what to do with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would have never. I've
Be
known you.
still.
I've known you for quite some time now. I'd have definitely, without you telling me this right now, I'd have never in my life known that was what you were going through, and you definitely don't show it. You came head over heels from that. That's not even. I mean, two completely different people. So that's honestly blows my mind even hearing that.
I think we're
and
like
that, I mean, that's
5
powerful
different people in a lifetime.
for sure.
Well,
I mean, I'm way different than how I was way back when. So
Well, what people don't understand is we are non-medical, so there is no medicine given. I mean, we only give
Tylenol.
yeah, but God takes care of the rest. There's no, hey, we got to give them Suboxone or we got to give them this. We don't do it.
yeah,
I mean, they come and it's when they hit that house, they're done. Like we have approved medications, and it's like high blood pressure, stuff like that. There's no kind of antipsychotic drugs in there, because if it's strong, then people get addicted to it, and it can run through the whole house.
oh for sure.
So it is a very structured environment, but and also chances for them to really come. And we say we have 13% amount, I guess, percentage of guys that leave our facility. That's a huge number.
That's really low.
The national average is, I think, 67% of failure rate.
Wow.
And we are only at we lose 13% in a year.
So that's like over 80%
Yeah,
success rate.
success rate.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Wow.
that just from the outside looking in, I'll say, that just shows of the environment that you guys have in the house, and just the overall feeling that you have. You know, you don't have that sense of feeling. All the guys are super close. Everybody's super nice, and just happy to be there and happy to have that family feeling that you guys that you have together.
Yeah, and it's all walks of life. I mean, you have
Far left to
guys
far
that
right.
were raised with the silver spoon in their mouth, and you have guys that have came in and they're coming straight out of prison, and they all just get along. We have had no fights ever break out in the house. And of course, you have
Bickering.
You have bickering. You got a bunch of guys. It's going to happen, but we've never had any issues. I think we had one guy got punched, and it was pretty bad. But you would think as a male guy gets punched, he's going to retaliate. Never retaliated.
Wow.
Took it, ended up breaking his jaw. So, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough.
Oh no.
I mean, tempers will obviously flare when you have 15, 16 guys that are living in
human
that,
beings in general.
in that close quarters, because I mean you sleep in twin beds.
I can't hardly handle one roommate, let alone 15.
Yeah. And
So,
they're in bunk beds. Like,
that's really saying something.
yeah, it's a lot. You're living with somebody that your backgrounds are probably complete opposites.
Well, I would say it's almost depends on how you look at it, right? Me being homeless, coming off the street and having zero connection, coming into a house where you have nothing but connection, was almost really thankful. And the property's big enough, you can
have
venture off.
space.
There's no fences, there's no guards.
Yeah.
It's not.
This beats prison any day.
Beats prison, and then that's another thing. You take a man that's been in prison as most of his life, being in the environment, cuddled in with all these guys, isn't going to stress him out like you think.
Right.
Because he's so used to it. He's just relieved the fact that his pillow's soft and this guy's not going to steal from him.
Right.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's a transition from what you were into something new you can have.
But still a structure that you're familiar with that's healthy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love that. I hadn't considered that transition from like a institution into something kind of like, what is that movie? That movie about prison.
Nope,
It's
I ain't
an
got you.
older movie. Everybody's seen this movie. Anyway,
I probably have not. But no, you have to have structure, because the normal societal way, will say, of coming out of prison or something, at jail, any of that, they don't give you ways to succeed when you get out.
Nobody's handing you
go
money
right back
and
to
an
the same
apartment
place that you
lease.
came from.
Yeah.
And then, the same thing's going to happen. It's all, like Mark said, it's a big circle that you just go around, and you'll never get to break it if you don't remove yourself from almost every piece of that former life.
Yeah.
And then you also have to have the structure of a house, something like that you won't.
keeps you busy enough
It'll
and
keep
have
you-
purpose.
100%.
Yeah, we are like to the minute. They are doing something to the minute. And it's very, very structured. But we're also teaching them, okay, when you get out, you are prepared.
Yeah.
And, honestly, you look at these rehabs and they're expensive to get in. Ours is $700 to get in. They can't pay it. We're not going to turn them away. We'll find it. So regardless if you paid or not, when you graduate our program, we hand you that check back. So it's given to them. They have to earn it. I mean, it's
Work the program.
so we base all of our financials on, we do vocational training. So we will go, we have contracts with companies, and we'll go and train 40 hours a week. And these guys go work 40 hours a week with no paycheck.
But they leave with the skills.
They
the
leave with
skill
the skills.
set.
The last 8 weeks of our program, that company can hire them on. They get to keep their paychecks. They get to put it up. We still cover everything else. We pay for their transportation. We pay for insurance, everything. We cover it all. But they get to keep that money and just kind of put it in a nest egg. So when they graduate, they have money when they get out.
Yeah.
Now, does everybody put that money and use it for what they're supposed to? No. A lot of them go buy something dumb, buy a big TV or something like that they don't need. But we've had guys save up to $10,000 just putting it away. And then when they leave, our church is so supportive. They help guys find somewhere in Maiden where they still have that support. And I think that's what keeps them out of that relapsing is that support
community
system. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I said, being that I went to Newton Conover, Maiden was our arch enemy.
I went to Maiden. Calm down.
Easy. It was hard for me going to Maiden, but I'm gonna tell you that little town.
There's a lot of love there.
There is, and I could not say anything bad about
There's
Maiden
a lot of
now.
love there. Yeah,
Back
hasn't
then,
always been that way.
Yeah, but now it's a great town.
It is
very supportive.
I didn't know people were decent in the world. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't have a lot to go on, but
North Carolina will change your mind.
Oh yeah. Oh well. When I got in the
For
church
sure.
at Maiden, it changed everything for me. Mm-hmm. It changed everything for me.
So we got to hear a little bit about Samuel's encounter. Did you have any Jesus encounters that you want to share?
So mine was, we weren't raised in a church. We didn't attend. When I got married, my wife said, "Oh no, we're going to church." I'm like, "All right, well, have fun." Nah, I'm not going. So we went to a couple churches, and it just wasn't
not the vibe for
you. For us. It wasn't for me. She was raised Church of God, so very, completely was not ready for that. So we ended up going to Living Word in Maiden. Had a great youth. Well, the first time I went, they had a guest speaker. And I don't know if you know about Pentecostals, but we rowdy. And this guy came up and he was speaking in tongues, and I looked at my wife. I said, What
is going on here?
We got home and I said, nope, never again. I will not go back. And of course, my wife said, yeah, you are. Like, no, you're going. So we ended up going, and it was probably the best decision I ever made. I think about a year later, I got saved. 6 weeks after that, I got baptized. And it just has been, it's that love. And then that God has put you in that place, and just knowing what He's taken me from. I always say, I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but I wasn't in His life for first 10 years. I mean, I tried to be,
Probably,
but
something like that.
I was in active addiction. He'd come over on the weekends, and there'd be a lot of times I just pawned him off. And that was horrible. Him and his sister. So it took my wife coming in and then getting me into church to realize that's not who I am.
Right.
And thank goodness our relationship is a lot better than it was.
For sure.
His sister, our relationship's a lot better. And we kind of did the same thing. As we took a little girl whose mom was in active addiction. She was in prison. And we adopted a little girl. And she's in college, playing college softball now.
Yeah.
And then I've got my youngest who's getting ready to graduate high school. And, she's top 5 in her class. They just excel. And, I can't. It was all God. It's nothing that I could have done differently. He just opened doors, and you just know that God's got His hand on stuff, because I couldn't have done it by myself.
Right.
So even with her, it would never happen.
No, you definitely came a long way. You definitely even you with the girls, I was definitely, don't hold this against me, I was a little jealous because, I never got that dad sort of thing. And, definitely came a long way because I didn't really have a dad. Both of my dads were in active addiction and stuff like that. And luckily you didn't. I thank God that you didn't go the other route that my other dad did. But that's why addiction means a lot to me, and everything that we've built here, I definitely want to, give it back and help those that, I didn't go through it myself. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I didn't go super far. But anything that I can do to struggle those that are going through addiction and not have that life that, I had for a little bit, it's tough.
What's a word that you have, both of you? What's a word that you have for somebody right now that might watch this that's in active addiction that doesn't have that hope? Is there something that really stuck out to you or resounded to you that inspired you to keep going?
I mean, I think that it's just don't be scared to ask for help. Find somebody, find somewhere, whether it's the Hope Center, whether it's, Bethel Colony, find somewhere where you can get support, because we're all here. We always say in every family, every single person knows somebody that's in addiction.
100%.
Knows somebody. So find somebody and get help.
The help's there.
It's always there.
If you want the help, it is there to be found. You just have to know where to find it.
I feel like it's
and
never
ask
too late.
and ask for it. And not only ask for it, but want it. If you want it, you can do it.
You'll never stop.
Yeah, it's possible. But if you don't want it, you'll never get there.
Kind of like you said in the beginning, let the addiction fuel you. Mm-hmm. Channel that into something.
100%.
What are you stewing on over there? I see the wheels turning.
Well, I feel like if I had to tell somebody something that was in a place where I was, it's a strange like concept, like how I got out of my addiction, because I literally just lost everything, side of everything. I pray that it doesn't take everyone to get to that point. It's an active addiction to get past that, but all I can come to is pray.
Yeah.
Pray.
Ask for help.
Sure.
Pray and, find somebody, an environment somewhere, somehow that's, not resembling what you're doing.
For sure.
Don't go back to the dope house thinking you're going to get sober.
Yeah. Change the scenery.
You have to change everything.
Yeah,
not just friends or not just places. I mean, you have to change a whole lifestyle, almost down to the clothes and everything. Get rid of everything you did before and then start over.
Absolutely.
And now you live a different lifestyle. You make better decisions. Everybody can make it out.
Change your address and your phone number first.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say
because they're still going to be calling.
That's valid.
That would be where I would start. Change your address, your phone number, and maybe pray a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ironic how the two of those things are connected, like non-coincidentally, but how like in addiction, the way to move through that is to die to your old self. Mm-hmm. And in the same way, that's what Jesus calls us to do.
Exactly.
That can't be a coincidence. Absolutely. Am I right? Like, I really think that the people who have felt that suffering truly know a little bit more deeply, like that love of Jesus, because that's the only thing that could pull them out from rock bottom. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. It's that surrender, and you're surrendering yourself to live a different lifestyle, and that's what we all do as Christians. Is we surrendered and gave our life to Him. So it is crazy how it's the exact same thing.
I have never made that connection until just now. Mm-hmm. Like daily dying. Well, that should be a hashtag. Daily dying. Like, it's way more motivational than it sounds.
For sure.
I'm just out here trying to die daily.
Yeah, it don't really sound too good. But
no, but it's like it's got such a good meaning. Like,
does.
If you know, you know.
In the flesh. For sure.
Anyways, I'm not funny. I try to be. Sorry.
It's pretty funny.
Sorry for that. My boyfriend fake laughed at me this past week. He's like, really? You just, good job. Good job, sweetie.
I do it all the time.
I just got a little sweaty at how awkward that was.
That's hilarious.
Anyways.
No, but we appreciate it. Is there anything else that you guys want to share? about yourself
Your
or about
gala.
the?
Do you want to talk about your gala? That was in the beginning, so in
That
case
wasn't-
he
yeah.
doesn't crop that in.
Okay, so what was it you just called it?
I heard that too.
What do you call it?
What is
Gala.
it? Gala.
Gala? What did I say?
Gala?
Yeah, is that wrong?
No, it's gala.
Gala?
I don't really know.
Listen,
we call it a
I'm
gala.
from Maiden, okay? Ask them there and see what they say.
That's
A
hilarious.
gala? Okay, gala?
Gala.
Sounds like it should have a Y. Anyway, carry on. Your gala?
So we do it every year. It's our big way to get donations because we are a nonprofit, so we have zero state funding. Everything is we run off donations, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, all that. We couldn't do it without support of the community. But so every year we do a gala at the Providence Mill in Maiden, and it's a huge event. I mean, you wouldn't think last year we did it on a Tuesday night, and we had over 600 people show up, and it's I guess eye opening. You get to see these guys like serving people and being in that community, and not where before you weren't going to catch them in there. And now they're in with the crowds. They're hugging people. They're talking to people. So it's kind of like what y'all are doing with your festival is, we are looking for companies that will want to buy in to make our community better. And, it's bad now because, you see all the homeless people walking around. You see the addiction it's bad. And, we need people that will stand up and say,
We can't just refuse to look at it
Correct.
anymore.
100%.
Yeah, we need companies. Hey, stand up. Let's find places for these people to go, and not just walk around and be a distraction when they can get help.
Well, and I think a lot of it is everybody just wants to just downgrade it. Like everybody just wants to be like, look at all the homeless around here or whatever, and not look at
not
we
looking
can
at the
help.
root. They're not looking at
or
the
we
root
can
of the
do
problem.
something to help the situation, not just sit on Facebook
And
or
judge it.
and judge it and complain about it. Why don't we throw a gala, throw a festival, throw something that shows people that they're not alone in the situation, that there is
care
help.
about you.
And we do care, and we want to help you if you want to be helped.
Yeah.
And truly that's the root of it. If you don't want to be helped, you can't be helped. And unfortunately it's awful, but it's the way it is. But if you want to be helped, there are ways, and we can show you the ways to be helped.
Yeah, and we always say just, with us, hey, you might not want to go have a discussion, but, find somebody who would have a discussion. Don't just turn your head. Mm-hmm. Drive by and say, you know what, oh my gosh, look. And if somebody asks for help, you literally turn away and be like, I'm not helping that person.
Yeah, correct.
Then don't complain about it.
Yep.
If you're not willing to help, don't complain about it.
Amen. I agree 100%. Yeah, I hate the people that I see on Facebook just like complaining about the situation. It drives me absolutely nuts. And I'm like, if you have time to sit there and get on there and complain about it, then you have time to make a phone
volunteer.
call, to go
Or go volunteer
volunteer
somewhere.
or go do something productive. Because if you're going to do something negative, go do something productive. We got too much negative in this world to add fuel to the fire.
Way too much. I agree.
Let's be positive and go help somebody, for sure.
Something that changed my perspective on just helping people in general. Because even when I was out there and like doing the wrong thing, I wasn't helping nobody. You know what I'm saying? What changed my perspective was hearing some scripture when Jesus is talking and he says, "For you to do this unto the least of me, you do this unto me." Mm-hmm. When I was hungry, you didn't feed me. When I was naked, you didn't clothe me. When I was in prison, you didn't visit me. When you look at that person out there that's all alone, regardless of who it is, when you look at them and you say, "Oh, look at that person," and you make a big deal out of it, there's no way that looks good to anybody that's important, not being God. Mm-hmm. Right?
For sure.
So when you come before God one day, do you want to look at him and say that you drove by that person, or do you want to look at him and say, "No, I stopped and helped the least of them"? Because I think that matters.
I agree, for sure.
It does.
And I think one of the biggest things, people, they just don't love anymore. And just a lot of homeless people, that's their number one thing is they don't have anybody that loves them and is willing to show that love to them. And just show them that they matter, or they can be something else besides, homeless on the side or fighting through addiction, is that could change somebody's path immediately.
Feeling valuable.
For sure.
Feeling seen and feeling valuable. Have you ever heard of Francis Chan?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to send you, now that we're Facebook friends, I'm gonna have to send you a couple of his sermons. He has like a very powerful story about that very topic you were saying, like about people need to feel loved. Like he has one of the most powerful testimonies I've ever heard about it from his childhood and things, and the way that he's used that to channel similarly in the way that you all are in this ministry is just like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You take a bunch of guys that put all the effort in their lives towards correcting something inside of them, and they choose to cope with alcohol, drugs, or negative things like that, and then they put the same amount of energy towards making their lives right. Mm-hmm. And they're also put in a house with a bunch of men that are doing the same thing. I've never felt more love anywhere than I do the Hope Center, and that's from my brothers that are there.
Right.
I agree. And, I obviously didn't know how to feel whenever Dad came to me and was like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I was like, excuse me, what? And quit your job. He's like, I'm done. I'm going to do this. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know how to feel. Honestly, I was like, well, this is going to be kind of, weird. I don't know if I want to go to this, program of a bunch of guys struggling with addiction. Like, obviously it played a massive role in my life, but I was still uneasy about it. But that just goes back to the structure and the overall feeling that you guys keep and make sure that y'all have pulling each other up, or just having that family feel. It does not feel like what I would have imagined it to be.
I also think it's worth noting that in all, really, I think of time in society, there's not been a lot of room for men to feel emotion. And there's just not a lot of room. Like you've been raised in a world where you're taught to not show emotion because that equals weakness. And that's the very first step to being a better person, is admitting what's wrong, and that takes vulnerability, aka weakness, and everything in your body is telling you absolutely not. We're the protectors, we got to be strong, we got to do this and that. So that in itself, like the fact that you're able to cultivate that environment together and allow people to feel real love, and like a love that doesn't require performance. Not a
Absolutely.
performance-based love, but
Unconditional.
an unconditional love. I think that's something people don't speak about enough.
No, and I was, sorry, I was, probably the least emotional person out there until God came into my life. And now, Lord, it free flows all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just, I guess, when you're passionate about helping people, you can't help but to be emotional about it.
Yeah, because you feel it on another level.
Yeah.
Well, the emotion, like I said, you'll just have to come see the house and experience because whatever you're thinking about right now, or what it would be, it's nothing like that. Like, I don't know. It's just such a nice, just fun place to go. I go down there and hang out sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take Jaden down there and we'll just go down there and play for a little bit. Like, you would just never think that especially not me, would have ever been comfortable enough to take my 3-year-old down to active men's, addiction center.
Right.
I wouldn't want my son to be around that. Like, I want to show him the life that I never had, and I didn't have to deal with that kind of things.
Except this is what real life is.
But this is, and it's just such a wonderful feeling place down there. Like, it's just undescribable.
It's weird because, like, on paper, people trust the structure because that's what you read. You're right. It's impossible to experience it until you're there. Mm-hmm. Because when you get there, you really feel what God's doing in these men's lives.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
You feel it 100%. Right when you walk in the house.
So aside from the gala, how can we as a community support the Men's Hope Center?
Ours is, We are always needing food. We're always needing
Donations.
clothes. It's
Okay.
100%. We survive on donations.
Yeah. How do people get them to you? Check
Well,
out the website or
you can go to the website, our Facebook, it's Hope Center Ministries Maiden.
It'll be tagged below.
And then we have an open door policy. I mean, there's somebody there 24/7. Come by and see it. We're off Zeb Haynes Road in Maiden. Just look for the big cross at our mailbox. Stop in, see it, because I don't think you can really understand it until you see it. And
You got to walk in that living room and you see all the guys just hanging out and they're all having a good time, smiling, just like it's, like I said, a big family. It's just a really big family. And I'm used to the really big family aspect because I have a huge one. But it's literally feels like I'm going to Christmas, at my grandmother's house and we have all of our cousins and everybody sitting around in the living room. That's literally what it feels like when you walk in there.
yeah. The joy of the Lord is so different.
Yep.
People just glow. I love it. I eat it up. Oh man.
For sure.
Okay. What else do we have?
Uh,
Do you have other
got
things you want to share?
Anything else you want to share?
Everybody always blanks when we say
I know
that.
every time.
So this is why we do it a couple times.
For sure.
yeah, no, not that I can think of.
Oh,
I'm so happy.
I know. I knew Laura. I knew she is going to eat this one up. I knew this was coming.
I love a good Jesus episode.
Oh yeah. But
I love a
we
nonprofit.
appreciate you coming. Obviously, we appreciate what you do. I appreciate
much.
the value of it and the lifestyle that you have made for those guys there. I think, they're all appreciative of it. I'll speak for them, and I'm sure Sam, you'll be able to say more than that, but just the feeling that you have when you walk into that house is second to none.
It never stops too, because sitting here with y'all, you have no idea what it does for me. Because, a year and a half ago, it's crazy that I'm even sitting here with y'all having this conversation. I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all very much.
No, I appreciate you.
No, we
for being
appreciate you
here.
for sure.
Yeah. I'm glad you got up off the side of the road.
Me too.
I really am.
Well, the funny part is 90% of the Hope Center is run by guys who have graduated the program.
It's a beautiful thing.
So
You don't know it till you've walked it.
Right.
So that there can't be a more accurate
yeah,
space.
Absolutely. I'll follow. It's easy for if a man walks in a room, he's your boss and he's paid to be there and he's got a certificate saying he knows something. It's almost like you got to pay me to be there too. But if a man walks in a room and asks me to follow him and he knows how I feel and what I've been through,
You trust him.
I trust him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's just a walking. It's a walking fact. Like you can see, and if you know that they've been down that same road and they've made a life for themselves, it's addicting in itself.
That's where the hope comes from.
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely.
Well, if he can do it, why can't I? I can do the same exact thing. We just have to, you just have to open those doors and be willing to walk through those doors. Cool. Got anything you want to add?
No, I'm trying not to tear up over here. I'm sweaty. I'm
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming. And August 15th, if y'all want to come meet the guys, obviously they said that your open door policy, you're welcome to come anytime, but they'll all be there.
Heart and Harvest Festival. That's what he's talking about there.
That is what I'm talking
and
about.
then their gala is
September
September 15th, the
15th.
month after.
Yep.
We'll tag all that info below.
Yep. Come, what?
I said I'm going to start calling it a gala.
Gala.
Gala. But
it was
no,
a gala.
A gala.
Gala.
come meet them. They're all some super cool guys. Or go down there and go say what's up. You'll have to just see it to believe it.
Yeah, we're excited. We're ready for the festival, and we're excited. We're excited to see how big the community, can really show out and show they care.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we got the space.
Yeah, we do.
We got plenty of space.
Let's blow it up.
Yeah.
I hope everybody that sees this video shares it with 10 people.
Yeah.
Let's fill it up.
Yeah.
Let's do something for,
People matter. Let's let
Yeah.
them know that.
For sure.
this affects our community. You save one person, you made a difference.
100%.
Be willing to save one person. It can turn into 5.
Yeah.
Step out of your comfort zone, help somebody.
Yeah.
And if you got help, pass it to the next person. And
Absolutely.
then pass it to the next person. And then by the time we end of it, we're going to have no homeless people. Everybody's going to, just be living life, loving each other, and then just living in a great society. Because if you love the next person, then, we we're all benefiting. We're all in a better community.
Amen.
Amen.
Cool. Well, thank you guys again. We appreciate y'all coming on.
Thank you.
Well, thank y'all for inviting us.
Yep.
Yes.
For sure. All right, guys. In our final part of the podcast, we always like to shout out our Patreon community. So
Shout out to Mitchell Ball.
shout out to Mitchell Ball for sure. But for $5 a month, you can go get all of our videos early. You can get behind the scenes content for $10. You can participate in the Q&A of what episodes we have. If you have any questions for any of our guests, you can do that there. And then the final one, $20 a month. You can subscribe to us, and we will give you a shout out, just like Mitchell Ball. So shout out to Mitchell Ball, owner of B52s down in Newton, American Bar and Grill. If you haven't been, go check it out.
Best burgers around.
They are really good, for sure. But we appreciate you guys watching this episode. We will see y'all soon.
See ya.
Peace.